And y'all know what it is. It is SummerSlam weekend. Night one was last night. We're going to talk about that. But before we get into
Sure.
that, on August 2nd, 1992, something special happened. In Baltimore, Maryland, Ron Simmons defeated Vader to win the WCW World Heavyweight Championship, becoming the first ever Black World Heavyweight Champion. And this
Yes.
podcast, First Black Champ, is named specifically for Ron Simmons in that moment. If you've ever seen that
Indeed.
video, see the little black kid running across the shit, he excited in that thing because he's seeing history for the very first time. Before we get
Yeah.
started with SummerSlam, let's talk about that moment, Camp. When you
Yeah.
saw that moment, when you heard that Ron Simmons is the new WCW World Heavyweight Champion, what did that mean to you?
Man. So, first of all, first word, unbelievable. Like, I had no idea that I would see that. And wildly enough, in reflection, it's not for the reasons that I would assume it as an adult. So, give that year for us one more time, Bang, of when Ron Simmons became the first black champ of my
1990,
time.
1992. I was 10, you were 11.
Yes. So at 11 years old, watching WCW 1992, I'm not looking at this from the perspective, oh man, he black, he not gonna win. I'm looking at it as Vader's a serial killer. Vader's a supervillain. Vader's a monster. No way Ron Simmons is going to beat him, even though he looks stronger than Sting. like he looks stronger than Luger. I get it. But for me, just as, again, innocent wrestling preteen fan, it ain't about race for me. It's literally just the fact of like, yo, this is Vader, dog. Like, Vader hurts people forever in my mind at 11 years old. So when I see this, it's literally unbelievable. It is one of the underrated, if you will, underrated David and Goliath stories because Ron Simmons don't look like a David. Like, he really doesn't. If you just looked at them as a pairing, this looks very equal. But when you just see the path of destruction that Vader had on this runway, it's like, oh, hold on now. This is a little different. And this is a wrestler coming from a tag team that's obviously over and surprisingly more over than I even realized looking back at it. And so you get this match, and even though now in hindsight I look at the match and I was like, I wish somebody could talk to Vader about that finish because I got questions. I got questions looking back, and it wasn't until somebody shared this match, I want to say maybe last year or the year before, where I was like, damn, he sure did. He sure did no sell that finish. What? That's whack. But back to me as a child watching here, it was monumental for me. And I think inherently, I look at it like, oh, wow, yo, the champion looks like me. Wow. Well, that's super cool. So now, hey, listen, when that happens, you know what I do? Ask my mom for a ride to Kmart, go to the toy section aisle, and then I go there, look at all the wrestling action figures in there, look for Ron Simmons, cop him. That's what I did. And they never had Butch Reed. I was like that.
I ain't never seen a Butch Reed action figure in my life.
Yeah, Butch Reed was on the back of the.
Oh, he was. He was just on the back of the picture.
Yeah, but I'd never seen the Butch Reed action figure in stores. We need to have a talk about that. But man, it changed the way I watch wrestling to a degree because they were saying, yeah, he's the first African American champion, WCW, and I was just like, yeah, wow, okay, that is cool, and I did become more invested in Ron Simmons, but also in the aspect of, wow, okay, yeah, he is a black wrestler. white wrestlers do win most of the time. It still doesn't quite matter to me as much as it does now. But just as a kid in the moment, it was an unbelievable feat. It was and I know like some, I don't know, wrestling elitists or wrestling purists, whatever you want to call them. But for me, and I'll speak only for me, Ron Simmons winning the WCW World Heavyweight Championship to me was equivalent to Hulk Hogan slamming Andre the Giant to me. Like, that's how big that was for me to watch it as a kid. So this is a monumental occasion for a wrestling fan like me. And I'll always hold this moment in high regard. Ron Simmons will always be an incredible, legendary wrestler to me. He could have never been Farouk, and he would still be that for me. The Nation of Domination could never exist, and he would still be that for me because I saw it. I was there. And I know that, wow, my opinion on wrestling, Ron Simmons, and even the Black wrestler started to change with that one seed planted with that moment.
What you just said right there, the Black wrestler changed for you. It changed for me as well. This is no diss to the Coco Bewares. This is no diss to the Special Delivery Joneses and the Kamalas, things of nature. Because I probably am the only person that I know that had Special Delivery Jones action figure.
Yeah, wow, you still have that?
No,
wow.
That shit's gone. That was the big wrestling figures with
the rubber joints.
The rubber joints that had the steel in them, and you go ahead and do it. Like, I had that and Kamala, right? So the Black wrestlers that I'm used to is Special Delivery Jones. I'm used to Kamala. I'm used to Junkyard Dog, and Doom. And Doom was my favorite tag team ever at one point. They were my favorite tag team ever. Before they took off the masks, I was like, I don't know who these black dudes and underneath these masks, but they whooping the Steiner brothers' ass. And then they take the mask off by losing to the Steiner brothers. I'm like, I don't know. Oh, wait a minute. That's Butch Reed. He was in the WWF. Okay. I remember doing a little bit. Ron Simmons, I did not know. It's like, this is a new brother. This is a new dude. And boy, you couldn't tell me nobody had a better power slam than Ron Simmons. So for me, it was like, okay, there are wrestlers who actually win. Simple as that. It's black wrestlers who can win, and they could win big. Because it's not like I didn't see a black person with a title, because at one point, Doom was the tag team champs. So it wasn't like I never thought that a black person could win a championship because of Ron Simmons and Butch Reed. But when you got into the Ron Simmons Lex Luger feud, I'm like, okay, this is a little, I don't know. This looks weird.
Yeah,
but
it's spicy.
But everything changed to me when it comes to black wrestlers and black wrestling. Not when Ron Simmons wins the championship. It's when Ron Simmons beats Vader. To your point. Because I was so scared of Vader as a shorty. Nobody could beat Vader in my eyes. And even if you beat him by luck. Everybody that I saw Vader beat, he beat their ass. Like, it wasn't, he just won. He beat their ass. I remember seeing Vader at the Clash of the Champions with the mask on going up against, I think it was Stan Hansen, and how they was whooping each other asses. And then he was gone for a minute. Then he come back with Harley Race, and he beating everybody ass. As much as I celebrate Ron Simmons being the first black heavyweight champion, I celebrate Ron Simmons for surviving and beating Vader.
Hey, listen, and you got to be there to understand that.
Right, and you got to be there to understand that. So it was double the win to me. The fact that he no-sold that, I didn't give a shit. I was like, he won. And he survived Vader. It's not until Ron Simmons is Farouk aside where I'm like, yo, why y'all doing that black dude like that? And
Hey.
it's not until he's in the Nation of Domination for me to appreciate that he's the first ever black world heavyweight champion, because everything revolved around him surviving Vader.
Yes.
And that's how dangerous Vader was. And for me, that's how iconic that win was. It's not just because if he would have beat Sting, if he would have beat Ric Flair, if he would have beat anybody else, it would have been, oh, he won the championship.
Yeah.
No, he won the championship, but first and foremost, he survived a monster. But years later, I understand, like, yo, this is a big moment because, and I mentioned this months ago on the pod when I was looking through like the old wrestling, on YouTube. Coco Beware, Special Delivery Jones, Kamala. And Kamala, I'm used to seeing Kamala win, but then when you go up against Hulk Hogan, he loses. When he goes against Undertaker, he loses. He never wins the big one. Coco Beware, he only wins on Superstars.
High energy.
And you think he gonna lose then. Like, he might lose this one right here. And and I could go on. And I didn't live in a time like Hood did where you saw Butch Reed or Junkyard Dog. Like, when I start seeing Junkyard Dog don't look like same Junkyard Dog. But when I see Ron Simmons, from the minute I see him, he's winning. He's a star.
Yes.
So, well, look, congratulations and funny story. And I don't know if he's watching, but Sean Knight was at a event. Sean Knight was in the event in Jacksonville, Florida, and he had mentioned to Ron Simmons, and he told me Ron Simmons was going to be there. I said, you ain't got to do shit, but just tell Ron Simmons that we're the First Black Champ podcast, and we've named this podcast dedicated to him for winning, being the first black champ and everything. He was like, oh, I'm going to tell him that thing. And he told him, he said, yo, I want to be on this podcast. If that's the case, I want to be on this podcast. So one day we hope to have Ron Simmons on this podcast. But August 2nd, 1992 was a pivotal moment in wrestling history because he became the first recognized black heavyweight champion. You had Bobo Brazil and others who won the regional championships, but not the world